Hey, this is a video that I've been really excited to make for the last few weeks. I'm going to walk you through how to do an at-home meditation retreat, an at-home Zen retreat, whatever kind of style you're into. This is going to be how you can actually just do this at your house. Okay, so I did this it's been a couple weeks ago now. I have some clips you'll see later from that experience. But what I found is that it's really important to do kind of sustained periods where you can just step away and practice meditation, mindfulness, even spirituality more broadly, right? Whatever this is for you. So I personally identify a lot with the Zen Buddhist tradition. And in that tradition, they actually kind of the standard, so to speak, is once a year for 7 days, you go on sesshin, which is a silent, full-on meditation retreat, basically meditating from sunup to sundown. But what I found in this season of life as I build out a new business, doing coaching, consulting around happiness and employee well-being, I don't really want to just, fly to Mexico for 7 days and sit in some little Zen temple. It's just not very practical and it's a little bit expensive. So I said, look, how can I maybe kind of recreate that experience in my own home, in my daily life? And here's how I did it. So I'll walk you through kind of the steps that I took and guide you through maybe how you can approach having your own meditation or Zen or mindfulness retreat, whatever that looks like for you, without having to spend the money and all the time and hassle of going off to some private retreat center. Now, finally, I will say two things. Number one, that if you can afford it and you want to get away, once in a while, even once in a lifetime, it is super valuable to do a long-term immersive experience somewhere else, because they kind of create that container where all you have to do is show up and then everything else is kind of taken care of for you. The second piece is that this is so beneficial. I think so much of the issues in American life with the social issues, but also just people's personal stress. Maybe you've had this experience. I feel like every time I ask someone oh, how's it going? It's oh, I'm super busy, but blah, blah, blah. Or it's oh, sorry, I didn't get to your email. I'm super busy right now. Or, oh, I haven't really had time to think about this. I'm super busy right now. It's everyone is so super busy. And it's why? What is happening? It's kind of wild. And so I'm sure you're super busy watching this. I'm super busy. We're all super busy. But intentionally creating spaciousness to just be and to have these extended periods of mindfulness and meditation practice where you're really kind of dropping away from all of that busyness energy, I think are incredibly important for your quality of life and also to better understand your life and be well, all this busyness, all this stuff I'm doing, am I on the right track here, or am I just kind of busy for busyness sake? So that is why you should do this. Now let's get started. So there's kind of 3 steps here, I would say. So the first is creating the time and space. It's how do you schedule this? How do you plan it all out? So we'll talk about that. The second is what does the daily flow look like? Okay, so I kind of walk you through that. And then third is the actual day-to-day making this happen, what to expect in your experience once you've actually set up this at-home meditation retreat. So first, how do you decide when you're going to do this and how do you kind of create spaciousness for it? So first, I'm going to have you look at how I scheduled this out, and I'll actually throw up my calendar here. But basically, what I did is I just tried to decide, okay, when is a period of, let's say, minimum 3 days where I have relatively few commitments? And I also like this, so I was looking here, and I said, all right, well, what if I do the first week of July, kind of going into July 4th. I like this for 2 reasons. Number one is this is actually, if you think about January, February, March, April, May, June, that's 6 months. So the first week of July is halfway through the year. So a great time to pause and do kind of a half-year review. So we're halfway through, halfway to the finish line for this year. How am I doing on my goals, my personal life, all of these things, kind of taking an inventory. The second reason is most people don't do jack shit that week. I mean, I shouldn't say most, but I've noticed this in the corporate world. Things kind of tend to slow down because a lot of people are going to be off Thursday and Friday, and they've probably got family coming in Tuesday or Wednesday, and then so there's just one day, right? So that's not a hard and fast rule, but typically there's a lot less going on here if you got clients to worry about, your boss to worry about, whatever. So I said, okay, this will be a good one. And then I just kind of laid it all out right here. So I said, okay, how can I carve out basically 3 full days for myself? And it won't be perfect, but here's what I did. So I knew 4th of July was going to be a family day and stuff, so I was going to be doing stuff. Sunday, I wanted to get some work done. That's the stuff you see in yellow there. So I said, all right, what if I do kind of a normal workday Sunday, and then in that evening, I start the retreat, and I have all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and all day Wednesday. So that's basically what I did. I just carved out that space. Now you'll also notice a couple things here. I still have some stuff in blue. This mind training block in the morning, that's just there every day. I didn't feel like deleting it. But you'll notice down here, it's like lift. So I did a workout. I apparently had to get my mom. Oh, she sold her car that day. So I had to pick up my mom at the car place. You have softball and 4th of July family stuff. So all that's to say is, look, I made the decision that I was okay with being in this full-on retreat mode, basically like 6 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then I want to work out. Softball in the summer, I play on a team around here, church league. I wanted to do that. I had to run over and get my mom. So it's not going to be perfect, but ideally you have long blocks, full days dedicated to just spaciousness and practice. And maybe if you need to do a little thing here and there in the evening, granted, you shouldn't be getting on and like Zooming and doing work calls or doing stuff like that, right? But of course, exercise is important, and doing some social time and activities or hobbies that you find enjoyable, I certainly think is a beautiful part of an at-home retreat, because it helps you to kind of bring this into your daily life and make it real. So coming back here, right, that is basically how I figured out, okay, like this is the best time block for me. So I would encourage you, you can even pause this video if you want to do this as like a follow along thing. Start thinking through, you can pause this, but think through, okay, when are some blocks of, let's say, 4 to 5 days or maybe an entire week where I don't have as many demands and I can carve out some time. Okay, maybe it's around Christmas, the week before Christmas, or maybe it is that kind of 4th of July week, or maybe you know that your industry at your company kind of slows down towards the end of the summer, whatever it is, okay? Or maybe you just find a 3-day weekend and so you extend that by a day. But you need to carve out that time, and really the key to doing this successfully is that you block out that time for you and you do not compromise. Because that's the power of going to an actual retreat center or a Zen center or something, is once you're there, like there's nothing else you can really do. Like you're there, you're locked in. At home, you might say, oh, well, what if I just check my email for a little bit? No, this is the retreat. You're doing the retreat. You're locked into this. So you need to carve out that time for yourself and be very disciplined in not doing, okay? Being very disciplined about not working, which is a little bit paradoxical, isn't it? We tend to think of like having a discipline. I got to work hard. I got to get stuff done. In this case, it is a good rest ethic compared to a good work ethic. So need to be diligent about blocking out that time. And then that may lead you to the next question of how do you then decide what you're actually going to do that day? Well, I'll show you. So look, really simple way to do this. All I did is, so for those of you who don't know, I spent about 4 months living with and training with Zen monks at Green Dragon Temple at Green Gulch Farm. And so it doesn't have to be this one. But here's what you can do, really simple, is wherever retreat center or meditation thing you're into, just literally Google what is their daily schedule. So sesshin, like I said before, is the Zen term for an extended retreat. I just Googled like sesshin schedule, and I went with the temple that I lived at, so I'm more personal. But you can literally just do any of this, find their daily schedule, pull it up, and then just tweak it to make it your own. So look, this one, I remember when I was living there those days, that 4:35 wake up bell, I never really got used to. So I decided to bump mine back a little bit to about 5:50 is when I would wake up and start my first period of Zazen, which is Zen meditation. But you can basically just literally copy and paste the schedule. And like I said, you can tweak it slightly to make it your own. So what I basically did is I just pulled this into like a notes app, and I just typed everything out and then I adjusted it. So like I said, I bumped it back about an hour, and then I basically followed the same thing for everything. And then I gave myself a little bit more time off in the evening so that I could do some of those other activities that were important to me, like exercise and hang out with friends and family. So final note, if you're looking at this, a couple other adjustments you can make is you may be thinking, well, what is, I should probably explain some of these terms. Kinhin means walking meditation in the Zen tradition. So you're basically sitting in meditation for 40 minutes, then you get up and walk very mindfully for 10 minutes, and then you sit again. This helps to keep your legs alive. Then you have soji, which is just clean up, basically. So you just clean up, tidy up. And then you have a Dharma talk. So maybe thinking, well, what is that? Well, so in the Zen tradition, this is when the head priest or just a senior teacher comes and talks to you for 45 minutes to an hour. So maybe instead of your Dharma talk, if you're just at home, listen to one on the internet, or listen to a YouTube video, or even just read for an hour a book relating to like spirituality or something. Okay, then you go through the rest of the day, and that's what you can expect. So let me show you now how I kind of made this my own. So again, you don't have to overcomplicate it here. You can just make it your own. Like I said, 4:35 a.m. wake up, no thank you. But, okay, this is important to strike this balance where you're still pushing yourself a little bit. So I said, all right, 5:50 is when I'll start my first interval of Zazen, which again, that just means meditation. So you can just write meditation. Then I said, all right, instead of doing like morning service where you do some chanting and prayer and bowing, I'm just going to study and journal a little bit, eat breakfast, rest a little bit. So kind of again, during that rest period, I'm not doing a bunch of stuff. I'm just tidying up a little bit, maybe sitting on the couch, going for a little walk, etc. In this case, I would usually walk for about an hour, which is kind of like a meditation in its own way. Then I do more sitting, do a little bit of study, then some more meditation, lunch, rest a little bit, again with a little bit of a walk outdoors, some more meditation, a tea break, meditation, and then I decide to end my day at 5 and do some other things in my life. But you could easily just extend this out to have a few more rounds of meditation in the evening. So bringing it back here. So once you have all that laid out, right, you basically can just do that schedule. But again, you have to stubbornly stick to that schedule for this to work. Because if you're not in that environment where everyone's just doing the same thing at the center, like at a Zen center, meditation center, it's a little bit harder to follow through. But if you can actually carve out that time and stick to the schedule, you are well on your way. So let's then walk through the kind of daily flow of maybe a day in the life of what this looks like. And then I'll give a final piece of advice about sticking to the program. So here we go, up bright and early, about 5:45 a.m. Gonna start my first interval of meditation, and then we'll move into the rest of the day. So another kind of important note here is it's important to create a space to do your practice. Now, I am not actually role modeling a very great job of this because my room is also my home office and my recording studio. So again, it's not perfect, but what I do have here, I'll show you, is just a little corner where I have my Zen meditation set up right at the foot of my bed here. So that setup includes this is a meditation bench. I have a meditation cushion. You can use either one, whatever's more comfortable. And then this black, the flat one, is a zabuton, which is going to help you to be more comfortable. So you get that set up, and you're ready to go. I sit in the seiza position, which means I am on my knees on top of this bench, just like this. Hands in the cosmic mudra, or whatever is comfortable for you. This is called a mudra. Your back is upright, chin slightly down, in relaxed yet alert posture. And if you prefer, like I said, you can sit on a cushion, and there's a variety of positions you can take with your legs there. Most commonly would be in half lotus, where you have an ankle on a thigh and the other foot tucked in below your other thigh. And then, of course, sit your hands like this. Okay, so finish up the morning round of meditation. I'm going to do a little bit of a study and journal. And so it doesn't have to be, I don't think, fully Zen mindfulness focused, but I think that helps. So I'm going with Joseph Campbell, great book on kind of spirituality and applying mythology to your daily life. And I've got this lovely little Eckhart Tolle journal. So I'll do a little bit of that, then breakfast, and back to more meditation. So just did my breakfast and then my rest period, which was basically just a long walk outside, enjoying the summer. I'm gonna do some now, what they say, look at my schedule here. One round of meditation, back on the cushion, and then I'm gonna do some study, which once again, I could just watch a YouTube video, Dharma talk from someone like a Norman Fisher. San Francisco Zen Center has great teachers. Again, whoever you follow or you're into that speaks to you around mindfulness or meditation, do that. But I also might just continue reading and journaling a little bit. Time for lunch, and then a little bit of a rest, which I'll probably do another walk outside. Okay, we're back for about 45 minutes again of meditation. Then we'll do a little tea break. I don't know if I'll even actually drink tea, but I'll have just, rest, maybe have some ginger tea. Then one more round of meditation to close out the day around 5 o'clock. Okay, we did it. Day is done and I'm feeling good. And so, like I said, if you want to just dedicate a whole day to this practice, and then maybe in the evening you don't work, you don't do too many errands, but you have time to connect with family or friends or do something you enjoy, I think that's totally reasonable, because it's about creating this space for meditation practice and then bringing it into your daily life. But at the same time, if you really want to go the full traditional mode, instead of wrapping your day up at 5 o'clock, maybe you take a little rest right now or something, do another round of meditation or some study, eat dinner, do a couple rounds in the evening, and then get a nice early start to go to sleep. In either case, again, it's really going to be creating time for practice and for non-doing. So there you have it, a little kind of day in the life of what you can expect as you go through each day of this at-home meditation retreat. So my final kind of part 3 parting advice, we said, how do you schedule it out and create that spaciousness for it? You need to have a little dedicated spot, some time that fits in your schedule where you really can step away and you hold yourself to protecting that time. And then you got your daily flow right there, which you can just look into a Zen center or meditation center and just follow along with their schedule. And then part 3 is what I would call just trust the program. You have to just do it. And importantly, it's honoring that space that you created for yourself. It'll be incredibly tempting to check your phone here and there, just jump on and do email or that got a minute type thing. Oh yeah, I just got to check in on something. But if you want to do this at home and have it be a true at-home retreat, you need to respect the boundaries you've set up for yourself. And if you're feeling even a little lazy or I don't know if I want to do this, again, that's why you create that detailed time-by-time schedule, pulling from a Zen center or a meditation center, tells you exactly what you need to do. So all you have to do is nothing on the calendar. I'm not going to add things in. I have the schedule. All I have to do is show up and stick to the program. And that is how you're going to pull off a successful, and maybe successful is not even the right word, but a genuine at-home mindfulness or meditation retreat and really get the most out of it. So if you have questions about this, I'm happy to, chat with you and whatever and share advice or a resource, whatever. But otherwise, I will see you next time and I wish you luck in your at-home retreat setup. So as always on this channel, you find videos from both kind of the art and daily life, as well as science and research into happiness and the study of happiness. So here's a video that YouTube suggests you'll like. And until then, I'll see you next time. This has been the Happiness PhD Project with Jackson Kirchis.